In Excel, the data validation feature allows the file builder to set up something which helps the users avoid incorrect data entry. Though limited to one condition per cell or group of cells, it's a simple and effective technique. In this sample worksheet, we can start by selecting the cells we want to set up for validation. That would be here B6 through E9. We can then go to the Data tab in the ribbon and slide over to the Data Tools group to find the Data Validation button and give that a click. In the dialog box, the process for setting up has three main steps. First, we use the Settings tab to narrow down what the user can enter. We'll tell it to allow not just any value this time, but whole numbers with a minimum of 100 and a maximum of 1,000. This should work pretty well for most kinds of expenses that we're looking at for our example here. Secondly, we go to the Input Message tab and specify a reminder for the user. So for the title, we could put in something like reminder, and then for the input message itself, something simple like whole numbers from 100 to 1,000, please. But then we need an error alert to let them know if they make a mistake. That's our third tab here. And we can switch from the stop style, which is the default, to the warning style. If we want to allow the user some latitude, this was a good idea. We can enter occasional exceptions to the rule, and we'll put something to that effect in the warning text. So for the title, we could say caution, and then for the error message, this is not a whole number from 100 to 1,000. We want to be a little careful about those messages. Keep them short, but not too short. One wants to understand clearly what's going on here. So if we now OK out, and we try to enter a number which is outside the parameters, say 1,250, and we hit enter, the program will let us do it. The program will let us override, but not by accident. So if I click on yes, the number will go in. If I try putting in a number, let's say that has a decimal on it, which again is not a whole number, and hit enter, once more, the program will let us override, but not without confirming it. So we click yes again. And if I try to put a number in which I know will fit the parameters and hit enter, all is good. We can even set up the sort of thing for entering the employee name. We can use the little list over here in column G for that. Click cell B3. Again, Data Tools group, Data Validation button, and go back to the settings. We're not going to allow just any old value. Again, we're going to tell it something special. We want a list, and we can move the box over because in the source space we can type in equals and then actually drag with the mouse to specify which cells we're allowing the data to come from. It turns out we technically don't even need to enter the input message in the warning if it isn't really necessary. The feature has defaults for some of it, and you may remember that in the error alert it defaults to the stop style. So we can't use a name which isn't in the list. Now I click OK, click the drop down, select whoever I want, and everything's fine. But if I try to put a name in which isn't on the list, the program says no can do and doesn't give us any options this time. We simply can't. The whole point, of course, is to make sure the user makes fewer mistakes entering data. Correcting mistakes is often a significant part of data entry in business.